Now today what happens, the farmers, when they do farming, this is like this. I get a lot of questions saying that, sir, I need for plastic mulch. Okay, how much does it cost? Sir, 250 rupees per kilogram. Oh sir, very expensive, I need it only for 120 rupees. Fine. I get questions like, per square meter how much it costs. Okay, good mulch costs 6 rupees 50 paisa. Sir, I am getting mulch for 450 rupees, I will buy that. I said fine, go ahead. Really, why there is a difference between one mulch and another mulch? I am sure that farmer buy the cheaper product only because they don't know what is the right product. If they know the right product, they will never buy the cheaper product. And I have, last week I was on a field visit. Once Mr. Srikanta is there, I think he will be here with us to share his experience. He is one of the largest farmers in Kolar area, 120 acres of tomato farming he does. From the 120 acres of tomato farming, he has been using mulching for quite a long time. So Kolar had a water shortage. He then shifted to somewhere near Mandya, close to Channapatna. He is taking land on lease and then he is doing farming. For 5 years he takes a land on lease, and he is, like you call in northeast you have jhum cultivation, his agriculture style is that, an amazing farmer. Now this is the picture that you see. Nothing changed here. In this picture, practically, the only change that you can see is the color of plastic. That's it. The cost of the plastic is same, brand of the plastic is same, make of the plastic is same, the color of the plastic is different. The result on the field is different. What happened? Now if the farmer just knew what color of mulching to use, probably he would have got a phenomenal result in all the farm. And this is the true story for most of the people who are using mulching in the field. Now this is the picture from yesterday. I requested him a latest picture because this was a picture 15 days back. This is a picture from yesterday. The difference between black and white mulch, black and silver mulch, quite considerable, quite noticeable. All other parameters being same variety, same date of planting, same fertilizers. You can see there is no separate irrigation line, it's the same drip irrigation line, just the color of mulch made the difference. So I will explain you during the course of the lecture why is that. So just listen to the farmer what they have to say.
सिल्वर कलर में ग्रोथ कम है और प्लांटिंग में बराबर नहीं हो गया, और वाइट कलर में प्लांटिंग बराबर है और ग्रोथ भी अच्छा है, बर्ड्स भी ज़्यादा निकला है। ये इसमें हाइट भी ज़्यादा है, इसमें हाइट कम है। दोनों का एक ही दिन प्लांटिंग किया और फर्टिलाइजर दोनों एक ही है। तो वाइट कलर में अभी समर सीजन में लगाएगा तो ये वाइट कलर अच्छा लगता है। ये सिल्वर कलर का प्लांटिंग का मल्चिंग पेपर का लगा है। ये कितना 6 इंचेस है। अभी ये वाइट कलर का है, ये देखो ये 10-12 इंचेस हो गया इसका। दिन प्लांटिंग लगाया मैं, वाटर भी एक ही लेवल है। ये देखो ये भी अभी बाजू में ये प्लांट है और ये प्लांट बाजू में, ये इसको देखो इसको देखो।
ಎರಡಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದೇ ದಿನ ನಾಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಒಂದೇ ಸಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಗಿಡ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ರೆಕ್ಕೆ ಪುಕ್ಕ ಹೊಡೆದೈತೆ, ಇದು ರೆಕ್ಕೆ ಪುಕ್ಕನೇ ಹೊಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಹಂಗೆ ಐತೆ. ಬಿಸಿಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ವೈಟ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಹಾಕಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಅವತ್ತು ತಗೊಂಬರೋ ದಿನನೂ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ನಾವು ಏನೋ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಬರ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೇ ಬಿಡೋಣ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಸಿಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಅದೊಂದು ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೊಂದು ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಬಂದ್ವಿ. 2 ಬಾಕ್ಸಲ್ಲೂ ಹಾಕಿದ್ವಿ, 2 ಬಾಕ್ಸಲ್ಲೂ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ವೈಟ್ ಮಲ್ಚಿಂಗ್ ಪೇಪರು ಭಾಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗೈತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನೀರೂ ಕಮ್ಮಿನೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೂ ಅದು ಗಿಡ ಹೆಲ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈ ವೆದರಲ್ಲಿ ವೈಟ್ ಮಲ್ಚಿಂಗ್ ಪೇಪರು ಭಾಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
Sir, actually this white is very good. See the plants almost 2 or 3 times bigger than silver mulch.
So this is the practical difference that you saw what happens when you just choose the right color of mulching. Now I will get you a little bit more technical. This is in the whole 2-day seminar, this is the only 3 technical slides, so you have to forgive me for that. Rest of the seminar is only a common sense. So you know mulching from our ancient wisdom. Our people used to use paddy straw around the plant. The only idea was to reduce the evaporation losses. This was the basic idea, and prevent some weeds around the plant. This was how it started. But as the time went by, agriculture improved, farmers became modern, and then we got drip irrigation system. So to understand the concept, why you should always use mulching with the drip, next step is plastic mulching. Now this is your drip irrigation. Drip irrigation is like your wife. Now wife alone can do nothing. You have to get the husband. It means you must always use drip irrigation and mulching. So this is the message, first message, that whenever you are using a drip irrigation system, use mulching for better results. You really don't spend much, you save much more and grow much higher. Now the technical thing, the first technical thing is that the kind of lights that we need to understand. There are three kinds of light. First is the UV light, second is the visible light, and third is the infrared light. These are the three things that we need to understand in order to understand the whole next 2 days. The UV light is a light which is not really necessary for the photosynthetic activity for the plant. And UV light is like even like Ray-Ban goggles that you use, it blocks the UV. So we do not really need UV in most of the cases. There are certain advantages. Second light is the visible light. Visible light is the light that you see, and this is the light in which plant does photosynthesis. So this is the most important light as far as we are concerned in agriculture. And the third light is the infrared light. Infrared light is a light which creates the heat in any situation. Whenever you are parking your car in the sun, you will see the car became hot. Whenever you enter a greenhouse, you will feel a little bit hotter. It's the infrared which ranges from 700 nanometers to 2500 nanometers, which is getting trapped in any situation, creating the heat. So this is used, this kind of light spectrum is used in different kind of mulching to give a particular desired result needed for the plant growth. Okay, so let me simplify this. This is the first part. Up to 400 nanometers is UV. UV helps in certain ways, but for photosynthesis it is not needed. From 400 to 700 is the visible light, which is the light needed for photosynthesis. 700 onwards till about 3000, 2500 is near infrared. 2500 is near infrared. This is the one which is creating the heat. So all this light is needed for us in some way or other, especially in mulching technology, in greenhouse technology. In different places we need different kind of light, and I will show you during the course of my lecture where what is used. So coming to different kinds of mulching. The first evolution of mulching was with a clear mulch. Clear mulch is just which transfers all the light. This is clear mulch. Now if you see any graph of the mulch, it sends all the light. What it will send? It will send UV, it will send visible, it will send infrared. When it sends UV, breakdown will be early. When it sends visible, photosynthesis will happen. But who will do photosynthesis? The plant will do photosynthesis, and also the weeds will do photosynthesis. So you cannot control weeds to that effect under a clear mulch. So the next thing what happened was black mulch. Okay, before we go to the black mulch, there is one important thing that the farmers need to know in a hot area. These days a lot of soil-borne disease is a problem. So plasticulture has a solution. This process is called solarization. A very thin plastic of 30 microns, 30 to 35 microns, but not any plastic. A thin plastic which should last you minimum for 3 months, because the cycle of the plastic, it has to be exposed to 60 days in the open field. So solarization is a process of removing the soil-borne diseases using the natural condition of the sunlight, heat energy, and thus sterilizing the soil. So this is the process now widely used across India also, started from Israel, very popular now in India. The method to do is, you take a 30 micron plastic which comes in a width of up to 10 meters. It is an anti-drip film so that the droplets do not obstruct the light transmission. So we want all the light to go through. UV, visible, infrared. When infrared is getting inside, it is trapped inside. And when it is trapped inside, it raises the soil temperature. It can raise the soil temperature up to 50 to 60 degrees centigrade. and at that level you don't have the useful microorganism killed, but the bad microorganisms are killed, and you take it off after 60 days. But the process to do is, you first plow the soil up to at least 40 centimeters, so you are doing the full plowing. Then you are breaking the soil, making it almost flat, cover it with the drip line has to be stretched, and then you have to cover with a 30 micron clear plastic. Leave it for 50 to 60 days, and before you start this process you have to irrigate the field with a drip line. So once you irrigate it, it can absorb more heat. Once it absorbs more heat, you will have a sterilized field. Okay, so this is the process of solarization. So infrared is used to do the solarization. Next came the black mulch. I have a very interesting story. I was traveling in Bihar and I came across one farmer. So he had a lot of black plastic on his field. I asked him, what are you using it for? He said, I'm using it for solarization. Now can you imagine, can anybody tell, can black plastic be used for solarization? Yes or no? Why? Anything else? No. You see what happens with the black. If you see the graph, black does not transfer any radiation. It does not transfer UV. It does not transfer visible. It does not transfer IR. So whatever will absorb, only that part will get heated. But is it transferring any heat in the air? No. There are three modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection and radiation. So what is going through the conduction, that only will be heated, but radiation is not there. Radiation will happen only in the clear plastic. So he was fundamentally wrong, and unfortunately many people still don't know this, that you cannot use a black plastic for solarization. So black does not transfer any light, so it will not transfer the photoactive light, so it will not allow the weeds to grow. But that's about it. It doesn't do any additional advantage like it does the normal mulching advantage of evaporation losses. There are many additional things that you can achieve by having a specialized mulch. So this is a basic mulch, black and clear. The specialized mulch comes, the first invention was done with a sun selector mulch. What is sun selector? Something which transfers a part of the radiation and it does not transfer part of the radiation. So what should be transferred? UV should not be transferred. UV is not needed. I do not want the weeds to grow, so I don't want the visible light to transfer, but I want the heat to be coming, because in the winter time if I want to take the crop little early, then I need a mulch which does not transfer visible light, but it should transfer the IR light, so it raises the soil temperature. So this is called sun selector mulch. So this is, just remember, there is something called, there are kinds of mulch available which can raise the soil temperature in the winter if you need to take the crop early. So if you look at the graph of this mulch, you see up to 700 nanometers there is no transfer. It means visible light is not getting through, but it is transferring the infrared. When it is transferring the infrared, it is heating up the soil and root zone temperature is increased, and hence you can take earlier production. So next type is yellow and brown mulch. Where do we use yellow and brown? Brown is touching the soil, yellow is facing upward. It is used in an area where you have lot of infestation of whitefly. Now you can say that yellow attracts whitefly, right? I had a farmer here near this Devanhalli. He says, sir, if I use mulch, it will attract all the whiteflies from the neighboring areas. Unfortunately, that's not true. The whitefly get attracted towards the yellow mulch, and when it gets touching the yellow mulch, which is hot, it gets killed. And after some time when the plant grows, it doesn't make any difference. So for the whiteflies area, you can use yellow and brown mulch. This is the black and silver, very popular, most popular. Black and white. New mulch which has just been introduced by Ginegar is called zebra mulch. It is not yet launched in market, probably it will come in next month. The zebra mulch is, this portion is clear and this portion is black. The clear one is used for transferring all the radiation. The black one is used for not allowing the visible light. It is used on a raised bed cultivation. It is used in a strawberry cultivation, and when you want to take the crop little early, it means you need to increase the winter temperature, soil temperature, then you use the zebra mulch. So now story time. I think enough of technical stuff is all over. Now it's only a story time. Raipur, I was talking and one farmer said, sir, mulching is very bad, because we lost 90% of our crop. I said, what mulching you use, sir? He said, I use black and silver. I said, can I see a sample? All of you have got a sample of mulching in your registration bag. You can take out and see if you find it. If my guys have done a good job, you will find it. So, Raipur is very hot in the summer, right? It has not changed in last 3 years. Not much. So what happened is that in the summer time, when you prepare the soil also, the soil preparation is not as the other time. So when they use the black and silver mulch, if you see the mulch across the light, it means if you take a mulch, just for example, I will show you, any plastic mulch, it's very easy to check if it's good for your summer planting or not. Take it with this distance, hands, arms distance, and check it against the sunlight. If it is transferring the light, don't ever use it for summer. Why? Because it will transfer the infrared radiation. If it is transferring light, it will also transfer part of the visible light. If it is transferring part of the visible light and part of the infrared, what it will do? It will heat up the air inside. What will happen if it heats up the air? It will become hot. Air will become hot. Okay? And hot air will come where? This mulch is transferring light. If you see it against the sunlight and you see little bit of, if you can see little bit also on the other side, it is transferring the visible light, it is transferring the infrared light. If it is transferring these two radiations, it will heat up the air inside. And if it heats up the air inside, hot air is lighter. The light air will come out, and it will come out from hole. And what's there at hole? The plant. So it burnt off all the plant. So the explanation is very simple. In summer planting, you always have to use black and white mulch. There is second advantage of the black and white mulch is it transfers 60% of the photoactive radiation back to the plant. So normally when your bed is like this, it receives 60% extra photoactive radiation. That's the reason you see more canopy. That's the reason you see the difference. You see this difference and this difference because it's reflecting 60% more photoactive radiation back to the plant and hence enhancing the biomass. Now a healthier plant, a more thicker stem, a stronger leaf will also have lesser insect and pest attack and disease attack. Hence you get higher production. So you can relate to these things. You can check the quality of mulch just by putting against the light. This is one of the most important parameters. If your mulch is transferring light, if you are thinking of using it in the summer, do not use it. Does it make sense? Yes. Anybody, please, you are free to.
Already the light intensity is very high.
Yes.
How it makes sense?
Of what?
No, because the light intensity, lux,
right.
it's also reflecting.
It is reflecting
also
the
top, on the canopy there is a lot of
okay.
light coming.
Very good question. I want to show you something here. If what happened now? It formed a shadow, right? Just understand, it formed a shadow because I came in front of a direct light. What is coming from the top is a direct light. What is reflected back? All the layers of the leaf is not receiving equal amount of light. This layer is receiving. This layer is receiving the direct light, but the layer below is receiving the shadow. So that also needs light, right? And when you get the reflected radiation, it's not about the lux, it's the quality of light. You receive the more light in the areas where the light will not reach otherwise because of the shadow formation of a direct light. Clear? Okay. Any other question?
Mulching not required for the pathways between the you will have weed problems in between, right?
In that case you can actually use herbicide, but Sanjay can spell. Normally you also need the pathway for walking. So if you have mulching is a very thin plastic, it will damage. Practically it is not used. So let's come to the advantages of mulches. How many advantages? Okay, you had a question. You can use weed mat, but problem what happens, farmers, it is a question of cost.
Okay.
Technically, yes, you can use weed mat. See, if you use weed mat, it will not really make much of a difference. Probably it will absorb more heat and it will transfer more heat through conduction to the soil. And since it is porous in nature, it will also allow the water to go down. It will not allow the weeds. But in my opinion, it is too much of expense for outdoor cultivation. Any other extra benefit that you can think of, Sanjay, using a weed mat in open field? Any of our farmers are using?
in net house, very few farmers they are using weed mat, but sometimes in summer it is useful and it is beneficial. But in monsoon season, there is a lot of saturation of water is there.
the time.
The evaporation losses is very less, so that it create the more humidity and it will create the environment for diseases. So that just you have to use as per the season and climate. You have to choose the weed mat, not continuous from first day to last up to harvesting. But for in monsoon you have to avoid the weed mat, and you have to use the weed mat in winter and summer. It will be better.
Three kinds I told you, either it can be black, it can be white, or it can be black and white, but then GSM may vary. In mulching, you do not get weeds because you do not have the photoactive radiation getting transferred to the soil. So it's a clean agriculture. You spray much less. Third thing, reduction of the salinity. This salt built up around the dripper is a normal case in open field cultivation, which you must have seen. Now the salt built up is reduced, it means you have a better growing condition for the roots. And this was tested by one of the universities in Israel, and the result I am showing you. This is distance 0. 0 is the dripper position. This is the dripper position without mulch condition, and this is with mulch condition. In without mulch condition, you see salinity level is 16 in just about 10 to 20 centimeters from the dripper. It means higher salt built up is there around the dripper. But with the mulching, the salinity level is just 8 up to half meter on either side of the dripper. This means that you have a much better growing conditions for open field cultivation of vegetables or any crop under mulching. This is the advantage which many people do not know. Second thing, there is a better development of root in mulching. Why? Two reasons. First thing, it does not have competition from the weeds. So whatever nutrients you are giving is being taken by the target plant. Number two, we know by our education or little bit from botany that the roots go in the soil darkness and the shoot goes towards the light. So root is called geotropic because it goes towards the darkness, and shoot is phototropic, it goes towards the light. Under the mulch, which does not transfer light, what's happening? Right below the mulch you have darkness. So what will happen? All the white roots will stay on the surface, and it means better nutritional absorption. You see here, most of the white roots stay on the surface. In case of orchard mulch, it is very, very obvious. You will see huge built up of white roots right under the mulching. So it's very important again for a better root system for choosing a mulch which does not transfer much light, or does not transfer actually the light transmission should not be more than 2%. It controls the soil temperature. I showed you in the beginning of the slides. Either it can increase the temperature or a mulching can reduce the temperature. If you use black and white, it reduces the temperature. If you use black and silver with light transmission, it increases the temperature. It means what? Where you can use black and silver which has little bit of light transmittance, mostly for the winter planting. Okay, so if you use that kind of mulch in the winter planting, it is good, no problem. But for summer planting, it can be a disaster. So with the mulching, you can either increase the soil temperature, reduce the soil temperature. Insect and pest control, this is again a known thing. It controls the insects and pests because it reflects the light back to the eyes of the insect. Then decreases the nutrient leaching and soil erosion during the rains. So during the rain, what happens? It acts like an umbrella. It acts like an umbrella for the root zone, which is not there in case if there is no mulching. Another very interesting thing, all the red colored fruit like pomegranate, strawberry, if you use black and silver mulch, silver reflects 27 to 29% of the ultraviolet light back to the plant and fruit. Now this helps in better color development. So if you are using a strawberry, if you are growing a strawberry, if you are using a pomegranate, black and silver mulch is the mulch to go because it will help in better color development. It also stops fruits from touching the soil directly, and this gives a better and cleaner fruit. Improves microclimate. I think we already discussed about this. Sanjay gave a little bit of idea that rain does not get into the root zone, so it acts like an umbrella and hence it dries up also faster. Labor saving. It answers your question. If you use the mulch for the second time, you save not less than 54,000 rupees of the total intercultural operation and weed removal. We had done the costing and also the initial fertilizer, the basal dose application. You can go to 2 to 3 crops. I will show you the pictures where the farmer has taken up to 4 crops on the single mulching. But what is needed there? If you use the mulch, which degrades only after 3 months. You saved some 2,000 rupees, but did you get the advantage of 54,000 rupees? No. So this should give you an answer. If it is cheap, it is not really cheap. If it is expensive, it is not really expensive, isn't it? Higher yield, which you will be shown to you in the next slides. Yields are dramatic, sometimes up to 50% also higher yields are there. So let me show you some success stories which you can relate to. It is very successfully used in marigold and farmers have got up to 10 tons per acre yield. Open field roses, almost 50% higher yield when you use in cucumber. Watermelon, muskmelon, up to 10 tons per acre. We have a farmer in Nasik, his name is Kiran Pingle, right? He went up to 120 tons per acre. I recently, in one of my trips to Raipur, Rahul, you can tell me, somebody got 180 tons of eggplant from Jagdalpur. Did he use mulching or 180 tons per acre on a grafted seedling? I think it was a grafted seedling there. But this one is a gallon variety of cloth seed. So 120 tons. After 10 months, this guy was fed up. He cut all the plants. He said, I cannot harvest anymore because the plant became very, very high. This is one of the farmers. His name is R.R. Patil. You can hear his interview because always we try to interact with the farmers and record their interview because they always tell the truth.
मल्चिंग तो बहुत अच्छा है।
हाँ,
इससे जो फसल आता है वो बहुत अच्छा आता है।
क्या फायदा हुआ?
इसका ग्रोथ बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है। जो व्हाइट फ्लाई है वो कम होता है।
अच्छा,
और इसका क्वालिटी जो निकलता है वो बहुत अच्छा निकलता है।
फ्रूट का क्वालिटी
जो है वो भी बहुत अच्छा निकलता है। और ये भी निकलता है अच्छा। इसका साइज जो है वो बहुत बढ़िया निकलता है।
अच्छा,
और पानी भी कम लगता है इसको। और जो
पानी कितना कम लगा?
पानी बहुत कम लगता है, आधा पे आता है।
अच्छा।
और इसका ये है जो तन आता है ना वो नहीं आता। और इसका जो ये 4 फीट का आगे है, लेकिन इसका जो कवर है ना, ये कवर से ये फूल है ना, रूट्स जो है
ऊपर आ रहा है।
हाँ, वो बहुत आता है। रूट्स जो 4 फुट से भी ये आगे है। ये रूट बहुत
4 फुट प्लांट्स छोड़ के 4 फुट
4 फीट पे आ रहा है।
अच्छा, तो इससे क्या फायदा है?
इससे ये है ना, ये ग्रोथ बहुत अच्छा आता है।
आपका यील्ड कितना आ रहा है इसमें 1 एकड़ में?
अभी 1 एकड़ है, हर रोज 500 किलो काटते हैं।
कितना दिन तक और चलेगा?
अभी 4 महीने तक चलेगा।
हर रोज 500
40 टन निकलेंगे इसमें।
40 टन निकालेंगे। अभी तक कितना निकाला है? 12 टन।
10-12 टन निकला है।
12 टन 20 दिन में।
हाँ, 25 दिन में। अभी 25 दिन हो गए स्टार्ट होके।
हाँ।
अभी स्टार्ट होके 25 दिन में हमारा 10 से 12 टन निकल गए हैं।
1 केजी का कितना मिलता है भाव?
अभी 8 रुपए मिल रहे हैं।
तो 12 टन का कितना हुआ?
क्या 1 लाख रुपए तक हो गया होगा।
और इसमें से आप 40 टन निकालेंगे बोल रहे हैं?
हाँ, 40 टन।
तो 40 टन का मतलब 3.5 लाख रुपए 1 एकड़ में।
हाँ, 3 लाख
4 महीना में।
4 महीना में हो जाएगा आराम से।
ठीक है। पहले कितना होता था मल्चिंग के बिना?
मल्चिंग हमारे से जो हमने और अलग किसान ने डाल दिया ना, वो अभी निकल दिए उसको।
अच्छा,
वो उनका खराब हो गया है। ये मल्चिंग नहीं इसलिए। और व्हाइट फ्लाई हमारा जो एरिया है वो बहुत ड्राई एरिया है, इसलिए व्हाइट फ्लाई सबसे ज्यादा इधर आता है।
तो
और निमेटोड भी आता है, इसलिए निमेटोड भी कंट्रोल होता है और इससे व्हाइट फ्लाई भी कंट्रोल होता है। इससे ये बहुत अच्छा है।
आपका
और लिप माइनर इसमें होता है नहीं।
ठीक है। आपका
पत्ता जो है ना वो क्लियर कट। अभी बारिश बहुत चालू है इसलिए दावने आ गए हैं, लेकिन बारिश नहीं होता तो ये नहीं होता, इसमें लिप माइनर नहीं होता।
आपका नाम बताइए।
भरत पासवांडा पाटिल, मुक्काम पोस्ट कोतड़ी, तालुका शिरोळ, जिल्हा कोल्हापूर।
थैंक यू। Okay, so this is the lady's finger. Sunflower. Sanjay has done some extensive cultivation of chilies and he has got good results up to 35 tons, and some cases VNR seed gave actually VNR3 you have some variety Rahul, it has given up to 50 tons per acre yield. So we have somebody from VNR seeds also. So your seeds are performing very well. So again 32 tons. Bitter gourd up to 12 to 15 tons. Again, so you can see almost yield is doubling in certain cases. Now we did quite some experiment with turmeric. I request Sanjay to come and speak about it.
We have done first experiment in turmeric in Nashik. Most of the farmer they have opposed me. It is not possible because turmeric having more branches and more shoots coming after suppose 1 month or 2 months, after 2 months. But in that case we have tried, and first time we have planted on at 30 centimeter pair row system. After suppose new sprouts and branches come, we have cut these succeeding holes, and one alternate holes we have kept as it is, and we have cut the paper from both side alternate, and so that these all the shoots have come out, and the growth of the height you are seeing here, and about 20 to 25 tons per acre yield the farmer has got, because he is having about 5 acres of turmeric. And in also ginger I have tried, and the ginger also we got a very good response from mulching, and very less water the farmer can achieve this yield.
90 tons per acre of yield. And you can see also how clean is the agriculture. You can practically see. At this slide I would like to explain you the types of mulch. In terms of light transmission, I told you first thing that mulch should not transfer the light in order to control the weed, and second is in terms of make, there are two kinds of mulch. The manufacturing process. One is the embossed mulch, which is normally a cast mulch. It is extruded in a sheet format, and second is the blown film mulch. The blown mulch is essentially shiny. It looks shiny, and the cast mulch looks like a silk fabric. So when you fix a cast mulch on the ground, it sits much more closer to the soil, and it does not flap a lot. So you get a higher life of this kind of mulching in the open field. Then cotton also we have done some experiments with mulching. Bottle gourd, cabbage. So practically any kind of vegetable that you can think of, mulching has been successful there. You have got the right mulching, you have got the right product, but how do you install it? If you don't install it properly, you may have problems like this. Because in polyhouse you still have the plastic which will not allow the UV. In open field you have the direct UV exposure, so plastic has to last longer.
For installing mulch or any crop, just you have to planning to grow, you have to take the care of planning, and for planning, what is the distance between row to row distance between the plant, first you have to select. Most of the people they are not taking the care of the distance between two plants. They are trying more and more population in the same field, so that but you can't get that much yield. If you are putting the more plant population, even also you can't get that much yield, or your yield will be losing or reducing the yield. So that each and every crop require the sunlight and the proper aeration, so that the each and every crop you have to go for the proper distance, so that the row to row distance you have to first mark the land. After marking the land, you have to make the beds by this machine. This is called as a double ridger or ridger. In sugarcane, most of the farmer they are using, and prepare these types of the bed. After preparing this bed, just you have to put the FIM or compost on bed itself. This suppose on this only you have to put the all fertilizers or FIM or compost. After that, just you have to put the fertilizer, chemical fertilizer like 10-26-26 magnesium sulfate, and mix all these together with the help of the rotavator. And then again you have to prepare the bed. This is the two-time bed making procedure. First is the primary bed, and after that this is the final bed. And after final bed, just you have to put the drip line. After that you have to irrigate. If you have clods or big stones of the soil, just you have to remove this, or any stubbles or any waste material is there. After that you have to cut the bed on both sides and install mulch properly. Don't keep the big stones on that, because it will deteriorate mulch, and also it will disturb the mulch, and also it will create the air vacuoles on the beds. Then you make the holes with the help of this hot pipe, or just you have to steel glass any put on the plastic, it will easily cut. It is very simple procedure. Just like you do not allow these big clods, and you have to also use this mulch laying machine.
So this is what happens when you use a plastic, you know, there is a lot of states have already banned the plastic. So as such, plastic is environment not so friendly. We should not add a lot of plastic to the soil. So the life of the plastic is very important. A mulch which does not degrade very fast, it's impossible, next to impossible to pick up all the mulch from the soil if it degrades faster. So when you talk of cheap, it may appear very cheap in the beginning, but it is next to impossible for you to collect the mulching once it degrades early in the field. So this is the difference. Here the farmer has taken second and third crop. It went on in just first season itself. This is the fourth crop that same mulching under a net house. Is under a net house.
One farmer from Nashik district, he has first planted this capsicum. After capsicum, he has planted cucumber. After cucumber, again he has planted capsicum. Again, fourth crop capsicum, and now he is growing cucumber. It is about fourth crop, and another farmer is growing fifth crop. And you can't imagine the bed is very loose and porous. Because the purpose of plowing each and every crop, most of the farmer having mindset that each and every crop after harvest we have to plow, again we have to make the bed, again we have to install the mulch. It is very costly and time consuming. So that you can save this. And this concept you can't get the reducing the yield in any crop. Suppose first crop is giving suppose 10 tons yield, next crop also you can get the 10 to 12 ton yields. No any single. Also you can save on the farmyard manures, compost and basal dose fertilizer. Just you have to put the crops in rainy season, and suppose harvesting of the first crop, immediate second day you can plant or sow the seeds on same field. And it is very time consuming method, and the all organic carbon and all the media and the environment climatic condition of the bed is very suitable for growing the crops, any crops. So that first just you have to take the care of, for example, even you are growing first crop is capsicum, after that the crop rotation is must. You sow the cucumber, after cucumber you grow, you can sow the tomato, again tomato you cucumber, and again capsicum. Likewise 4 to 5 crops you can grow within suppose 2 to 3 years or 4 years. In open field, suppose first crop is tomato. After tomato, you don't remove the plants also. Just you have to spray the glyphosate or glycol, and you keep the all plants, it will dry. After that drying, just you have to put the seed of the cucumber. The cucumber will help the tomato drying plant, and it will climb.
Same place?
Same place.
No need to do again bedding?
No, nothing. Because most of the people they are saying that suppose here most of the fungus is there, wilting will be there, nothing. Just for that you have to apply or drench the any fungicide, then it will be okay. Suppose today you have to drench or you have to apply S2O2 plus nano silver for 2 liters per acre, and next day you have to plant any crop.
So you said one crop after going for the second crop, there is no need of bed preparation and all.
No.
But for protected cultivation, solarization is necessary to avoid soil-borne diseases. How do you avoid soil-borne?
No. In protected cultivation, in greenhouse or net house, it is not possible the soil solarization, because we have the shades, and that much intensity of light we can't get it. So that just for your satisfaction you are doing the solarization, but that much heat will not generate it, so the soil solarization will not complete. Just for soil solarization or fumigation, you have to use the S2O2 plus nano silver or formaldehyde. That most of the chemicals it is suitable for this soil fumigation.
So there are common mistakes which I have noticed in many of the places where people buy the right mulch, they installed it right way, but still there are mistakes. Can somebody tell what's the mistake here? I told you that I will be asking questions, so...
Anchoring.
Huh?
Not properly anchored.
Right. Dog is definitely not the mistake. No, they bought a black and white mulch, but the black is on the upside. So anchoring is secondary issue. You must anchor it properly. But the black is on the top side, which is a huge mistake. Black and darker color of the mulch should always touch the soil, so that you get the weed control. Second thing is anchoring. This picture is taken from one of the center of excellences. Now if you do not anchor it on the side, you may get weeds and you do not get the advantage of evaporation losses to that extent. So side you must at least put 20 centimeters of the soil on the side of mulching. So it means 40 centimeter on either side, minimum 30 centimeter on either side is going under the soil. Only then it will not blow away when the wind comes. So the next interesting topic is orchard mulching. Many people in orchards, it has got excellent results. People growing pomegranate, they get weeds up to this level. And as I told you, in pomegranate, the color development is much better if you use black and white silver mulch. 27% of the light gets reflected, UV gets reflected back to the fruits, and it helps in the better color development. So this is the pomegranate. We did 40 acres installation in Nirmal Seeds Pachora, and that was a black and silver mulch. They also got very good result. Now see the difference. This is without mulch and this is with mulch. The difference in color is tremendous. Now there is a fundamental difference between the mulch that you use for vegetables and the mulch you use for orchards. The vegetable mulch thickness ranges from 15 microns to 30 microns in terms of thickness. But for orchards, because you expect it to last much longer, the orchard mulch starts from 100 microns, goes up to 150 microns. There are two types in orchard mulch, black and white and black and silver. Orchard mulch, if you are having an orchard in a stony area, you better go for 150 microns. If you are having an orchard in a normal soil, you can go in for 100 microns. So black and white you use for rest of the orchards like kinnu and other things, and black and silver you use where you need a color development. I was telling you in the vegetable slide, the white root development under mulching happens a lot on the surface if there is no light transmission. In vegetables, since the cycle of the vegetable is very small, so you cannot see it so prominently, but in orchards where the plant lasts for much longer, you can see the effect of white roots on the surface under the mulch. This is the advantage which you did not know probably. I assume that you learned something new. Then mulching is also used in guava, mangoes, banana, but this one is the 25 micron mulch which is used by Sanjay in an existing banana plant. It is right.
Yeah.
What did he do? Can you explain?
This place is Jalgaon district in Raver Taluka. One farmer having these weeds, and already he called me ki I want to mulching, but I have already existing banana and plant age is about 2 months. It is possible to install mulch. I said that yes, we can install mulch. And then after preparation of beds, proper beds on the same bed, existing plants, we have to install the mulch like this, where there is a suppose plant distance, just we have make the holes and we taken out the plant, and it is up to 3 years the mulch help to this banana crop, and he has got good result.
Orchard mulch installation in an existing orchard is also possible. Without a problem, you can use orchard mulch. Grapes, Nasik, lots of people have used mulching in grapes, and this farmer is standing right in front of you. You please stand up and show yourself, identify yourself. Abhishek, he has tried this mulching in UP.
This was one of my farmer. I was also doing farming on my farmland, so that was, I was telling that I have used this mulching of silver black 2 times. And I was doing capsicum, then I have done some more cucumber and all, and then again capsicum. When I was walking on the mulching, then also it was not tearing. It was that strong at that time.
See, that's why mulching alone is not enough. Agronomy with mulching is extremely important. You have to use a package of practices, not mulching alone. Because if you use everything else like open field and just use mulching, no miracle is going to happen. The miracle comes because the roots are stronger. You need to feed them better, right? The plant health is better, so you need to feed them better. But if you keep feeding like how you used to do before, result will be probably the same. So the question was about mulching in existing orchards. Now this is the existing orchard. This actually we did it in Pachora, Jalgaon, where there were 40 acres of mulching that we had to install on an existing pomegranate. So the example is not from that field, but example I am showing you how it is done. So first thing you do is remove all the stones, and you make a trench next to the bed. So basically you have to have a well-defined bed. So after the bed is ready, lay the drip irrigation line, then open the mulching roll. The mulching roll is folded because it's 2 meters, coming in 2 meters, 2.5 meters. So 2 meters is folded, so black is on the top. You will keep it next to the plant like this, spread it, stretch it, and after that you are cutting. This cut is exactly as per the stem thickness. So you are cutting in only one layer, on the upper layer, like this. So now after you cut it, you spray it on the other side like this. So after you put it on, you have to put the same around 30 centimeter strip of same plastic under. You put a wooden plank, and this roller machine we have got. This is a roller attachment that we made it for some 2,000 rupees, and you have a hot air gun. So below on this wooden plank there is a same strip of plastic, the same 20 centimeter strip of plastic. On that we put blow this hot air gun, and then you seal it, and after you seal it you cover it. So this is how you do the orchard mulching in the existing crop. So moisture measurement is an important tool. As I said, that you have to give the different irrigation and different kind of fertigation. So in order to know what kind of moisture is there, either you have a data logger or you can have a moisture meter or a tensiometer. So this is a measurement that needs to be done. So summing up, what I said is that to start with, just a very basic thing, there are three kinds of light spectrum which is relevant to us in mulching. One is a UV, visible and infrared. UV light helps in color development, visible is helping in photosynthesis, infrared raises the temperature. So there are different kind of mulches. If you use a clear mulch, it will heat up the soil. If you use a black mulch, it will not heat up the soil, it will not allow the weeds to grow. But then there are specialty mulch, which is black and silver, black and white, sun selector, or yellow and brown, or zebra mulch. These are the different kind of mulches which is available. Since I have already explained it, so I will leave the open this thing forum for question and answer now.
My name is Ranganath. Regarding the turmeric plot where you used the mulching, you said an existing plot we adapted, not turmeric, the banana one, plantation. You said you installed the mulch after 2 months.
Yeah.
Because of the weeds. How did you clear the weeds? Did you use any weed control or was it manually?
No. Existing weed we have not sprayed anything or just we have to cover the weeds. Because due to improper sunlight and visible light, the weeds become controlled.
Okay. The second question is regarding the plastic mulches. Do you have plans to launch biodegradable materials using materials like PLA, etc.?
Yes, the biodegradable mulches are in the talks right now, but unfortunately the present prices are more than 2 times and then this thing, and affordability becomes a question. So we rather recommend to use a better mulch which lasts longer and does not degrade in the soil, at least at this stage. But this is the future, and definitely in a year or so you will see that. Any other questions?
But different material to be used for a poly house and an open bed.
It's the same material.
Same.
It's the same material because the principle stays the same.
Where there is a cold area, that area only you have to use the mulching in poly house. But where there is a hot area and the temperature is not below 10 degrees Celsius, there you don't use the mulch in polyhouse. It will be the better because polyhouse is itself is working as mulching, and it will not allow the rain to directly to the plants, because it will also little bit increase the temperature also. And in net house it is compulsory or mandatory, you have to use the mulch in any area, suppose cold area and hotter area, no problem.